Hello, television family. We have gathered around the warmth of our high-definition televisions to bring you local television, which is what I do Monday through Friday at this time, although I don't know why. It is Thursday, the 6th day of November 2025. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I normally don't wear sweatshirts on Thursdays. I save those for Fridays in the cooler months, the winter months. But all of my nice collared, monogrammed shirts that I have need to be washed. The laundry hamper is full. I'll do that when I get home, so I'm wearing a sweatshirt today. It's kind of strange weather. I got up at 3, as I usually do, and it was clear. The moon, which is not totally full, it's like 98% full, was beautiful. The skies were clear. You could see the stars. And now we have this. We got some low-hanging clouds and fog. We are going to see some sun breaks. It'll burn off today, and then here comes another batch of rain. Yesterday, 0.55 inches of rain, a new record for November 5th. Broke the old record of 0.42 inches of rain, so we had only over half an inch of rain. And that was just from midnight to midnight on Wednesday. You factor in that the rain event really began Thursday evening about 8:30. We're talking about almost an inch of rain, I think something like between 3/4 of an inch of rain and almost an inch of rain during that time period. We're dry right now. One more passage of a system later on today and overnight tonight into early Friday morning, and then we have not a bad weekend coming up. Forecast details always bats lead off, and it'll do so again today. News, yes. Sports, yes. Kraken, well, we're not going to show Kraken highlights because they lost. Big time, too, I might add. Mike Minotti will have an opinion, but don't change the channel. We got pause for pets because, of course, it's Thursday. And in the back half of the program, my conversation with Lisa Blair, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. First of all, they have a new name. They've already announced the new name, the actual rollout of the new name and the new marketing and the new logo for the Senior Center. That's down the road. But the reason we talked to Lisa, because this Saturday is the 28th annual holiday gift fair that the Humane Society, that the Senior Activity Center puts on every year. It's huge, it's massive, it's great. And of course, Saturday also begins the grand opening of the gift shop, the Christmas gift shop at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Lisa will be my guest in the back half of the program. Our cameras should be looking pretty cool this morning. You know, we're just past sunrise and we have this kind of cool weather. So you see that low cloud fog bank hanging over the Wenatchee Valley. That did not exist about an hour and a half ago. That was not there. Now it is. Isn't that cool? That's cool. I could just look at that all day. In fact, why don't we just do that? Malcolm, can you hear me? Let's just throw this up, play some music. Let's go have some breakfast. We'll go down to the Wild Huckleberry. Anyway, beautiful view there. Off to Lake Wenatchee, snow on Dirty Face. Snow level's going to drop, not real bad. Stevens is going to get a little bit of snow. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But outside of that, that's a beautiful view of the Lake Wenatchee area. Low clouds and fog. The temperature of the water and the temperature of the air varies enough so that happens. Billy Goat, lots more clear skies up there. With all this rain that we had down here, we had more rain yesterday than Seattle and Everett and all those places that are prone to rain. They got about a half an inch of rain. We got over a half an inch of rain. Omak didn't get much of anything at all because the systems kind of ran out of energy by the time they worked themselves up to that area. That's why you see all those clear skies up there. Gorgeous view from Billy Goat. And let's see how foggy Leavenworth is. Ooh, well, somewhere down there is Leavenworth, Washington. United States of America, North America, planet Earth. It's down there somewhere. That will also burn off. That's, you know, again, the clouds are very low hanging and they'll be burning off for a little while. We're under the influence of a very brief upper level ridge over our area. So brief, by 3 o'clock this afternoon, it'll be gone and the rain will be back. Mountain pass traveling, not too bad, except for tonight. Tonight might get a little dicey. Now, again, if you're heading up to the North Cascades Highway, this might be your last chance to get over it. I just have a feeling with the snow that's expected. The two passes, there's Washington Pass and there's the other pass, whose name I forgot. Those are about 7,000 feet in elevation on Highway 20, the North Cascades Highway, between Bellingham and Winthrop and Mazama in that area. They may shut it down. We'll find out together. Snow on Stevens, possibility, probably not at all, or very little at all on I-90 and on Blewett Pass, but we're not quite there yet. Usually this time of the year is when we start talking about snow that falls and accumulates, but really not the case. But they're making snow up at Mission Ridge, I'm told, at a pretty good clip. I think they can legally start making snow on November 1st, and I wouldn't be surprised if they started making snow at 12:01 on November 1st, if I know those folks. From our friends at Colonial Vista, your 7-day forecast brought to you by Colonial Vista, where comfort, care, and community come together. We are going to see rain again today. We got some clear skies and some fog. Eventually, we'll have a little bit of sunshine. It'll last for 4 or 5 hours, and then by 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon, here comes the rain again. An 80% chance of rain after that record-setting rainfall yesterday. Not a lot of rain. It's not going to come down heavy, just light and steady rain from about 1 o'clock this afternoon till about 10 o'clock tonight. By midnight tonight, as we enter into Friday and the weekend, the rain should be done. What's the trade-off? Wind, especially tonight. Quite windy here in the Wenatchee Valley tonight. And on Friday, as the last of the systems exits, lots of sunshine. Temperature, that high temperature you see there is warmer than normal for Friday, but it is going to be a little breezy on Friday. It doesn't look too bad at all. A very November-ish kind of day. Clear skies at night means chilly temperatures, 35 for the overnight low Friday. It's going to be a little windy, by the way, on Friday night as well if you're heading out and about. Not a bad weekend. Saturday, partly sunny, 51. Sunday, partly sunny, 52. Monday, a little bit warmer with a high of 55. And not a bad Veterans Day either on Tuesday, the 11th, with a high of 55. One more day of rain. And again, the rain window, 1 o'clock this afternoon until about 10 o'clock tonight. All right, after a 2-minute break, so we can figure out what it is that we're doing around here, we'll do the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Be Live channel.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Birthdays, office gatherings, and team parties taste better at Abby's. From our legendary lunch and Thirsty Thursday to our monthly giant special, there's always a reason to gather. Family-owned Abby's, your legendary pizza tradition. You asked, and it's back at Abby's. 2 legends, 1 pizza. Half pepperoni, half big Hawaiian. All delicious. It's mouthwatering, loaded with toppings, and happily feeds a family. Order at abbys.com before this legend disappears.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit foggy and it's a bit cloudy. In the lower elevations, it's sunny up above. We'll see some sun breaks this morning. Rain begins again this afternoon, lasts until about 10 o'clock tonight. Not a bad-looking weekend, though. It's 9 minutes after the hour. The Grant County Jail in Ephrata has had another inmate death. That's the second one in less than a year. The Sheriff's Office for Grant County says a 54-year-old man was found dead at about 7 a.m. Tuesday in a holding cell reserved for people in crisis. He was there by himself in that cell. He had been arrested on Friday afternoon by Moses Lake Police on suspicion of theft and trafficking in stolen property. Grant County Coroner Craig Morrison is now going to have to determine the cause of the inmate's death with the help of the Central Basin Investigative Team. Their job is to probe deaths that occur in the course of law enforcement activity. No officers from the Sheriff's Department or the Moses Lake Police Department are going to be involved in the investigation. In December of 2024, 31-year-old Richard Lambert of Moses Lake was found deceased in jail custody. It was later determined that Lambert died of sepsis from internal injuries that he got in a bike crash 2 days before he was arrested. Federal prosecutors allege that an Omak man downloaded child sexual abuse material to his smartphone on multiple occasions. Philip Bruce Smith was charged by criminal complaint in U.S. District Court in Spokane, one count of receiving child pornography and another of possessing it. U.S. attorneys say the downloads were logged by the Washington Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force beginning in September of 2023 and continued in the last month. Smith was arrested during a warrant search of his Omak residence on October 30th, and his smartphone was seized as evidence. He is now being held in the Spokane County Jail, awaiting a district court hearing next week. If he's convicted, his federal charges could yield prison time of up to 20 years. The Washington State Hospital Association has recognized Confluence Health CEO Dr. Andrew Jones with the 2025 Grassroots Champion Award for Healthcare Advocacy. The award is presented by the American Hospital Association, and the award recipient is a hospital leader in each state who advocates to policymakers on behalf of healthcare organizations and their patients. Back in April, Dr. Jones participated in a roundtable discussion with other local healthcare leaders, plus Senator Maria Cantwell and Congresswoman Kim Schreier, about how cuts to Medicaid and Medicare would impact rural healthcare. In addition, he met with U.S. Representative Dan Newhouse and national Medicare leaders. Confluence Health said that these efforts that helped get him recognized with the Grassroots Champion Award. Kashmir native Kyle Osborne came back from the military to take a job as a fire inspector and an investigator with Chelan County. Now he's part of the three-person team led by County Fire Marshal Chris Pedersen in the Office of Fire Prevention and Investigation. On a recent episode of the Chelan County Connection podcast, Osborne talked about what's required to fulfill his duties and what's in store when he or his team come to inspect your business.
We have to know a lot of stuff about a whole bunch of topics, where we have two portions of our department. We have the prevention aspect, and we also have the investigation aspect. So we're not your local fire department that is going to be come running. We show up later, and we show up before. So the prevention side, we try to stop it. We try to prevent, fires before they occur. And then when they do occur, unfortunately, we come in and we do what's called an origin and cause investigation. We come in when the local fire department, it's not immediate clear of the cause of the fire. We'll come in and we'll conduct a very thorough investigation. And while we don't meet every resident in Chelan County, we're out and about every day. We'll be driving around. This truck behind me, this is the one I drive every day. You see me out on the highway to and from inspections. And then we do a lot of inspections with short-term rental owners. We do new construction inspections, sprinkler systems, whether it be residential or commercial. If it resides within unincorporated Chelan County, we'll be out there. Myself and Dylan will be out in the community, going to these commercial businesses, and we don't want to surprise anybody, and that's why we're trying to get the message out now. But they'll know it's us. You can see the truck behind me. If you see that, it's probably me that's at your door. But we will show up in a marked vehicle. We will be wearing our uniform. It'll have our name. And I don't mind if people ask to see my identification either. We carry ID cards, and if that'll put you at ease, go ahead and ask for it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. All commercial businesses that conduct anything with the public, or if they have employees present. The International Fire Code protects everyone. Restaurants, businesses, dentist's office. If it's in unincorporated Chelan County, we're gonna try and do a walkthrough. We have so many historic case studies of these devastating fires that are completely preventable with the, code compliant exiting. So if you have proper egress in place, and that's a major issue. That's the one I'm going to be looking for the most. But we have, the International Fire Code book. It's 2 to 3 inches thick. The most common ones, I'll be looking for extension cords, what we call You can have an extension cord up to 90 days as temporary wiring, but you can't plug it into another extension cord. We call that daisy chain. And it's just, you're just adding multiple points of failure on that extension cord. And unfortunately, I've gone to a lot of fires caused by extension cords. So I know we have a saying, to be a good fire investigator, you gotta have a fire prevention background, because when you know those codes, you also know there's a correlation between codes and fire cause. This job has all the variety in the world. You discover so many different fire code violations. You can go down the rabbit hole of the code path to figure out, hey, I saw something today and I'm not sure if that's okay. I'm gonna go find that answer. I'm gonna go figure it out. And that could be my morning. And then later that night, I'll get called to a fire scene. And I'm digging through a house that burned down, and it's, just me and a shovel and, setting up the lights and trying to put that puzzle back together. And so I can figure out what happened. We're here to serve, and we want to see all businesses be successful, and we want the residents and guests of Chelan County to be safe.
With the record rainfall over the last few days, Chelan County did the obvious. They shut down Horse Lake Road, and they shut it down about a month before they normally do. Chelan County Public Works closed the gate at the bottom of Horse Lake Road because the roadway is wet, and then it freezes and it can become susceptible to damage. Of course, during the winter, when it freezes and then it thaws, it makes dirt roads within the county soft and more likely to become damaged from vehicles. Chelan County says some of its rural roads also need to close to protect wintering herds of mule deer. Horse Lake Road typically closes the first day of December. Instead, they shut it down yesterday. And nominations are open to recognize individuals, groups, or organizations who are making a difference in our valley. The city of Wenatchee once again partnering with Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center and the NCW Equity Alliance for next year's Uplift Awards. The recognition goes to local residents and agencies who make contributions to protect civil rights, promoting social justice, or advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion for the year that we're still in. Winners will be presented with their awards during the museum's Martin Luther King Jr. Day Multicultural Fest. That's in January. The nomination deadline is December 7th. Go to the museum's website and give somebody who deserves it a nomination. That's the news. On this Thursday, the crew will be working hard in the bullpen to bring you the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10, the NCW Life Evening News. That's the television time. Of course, it'll be up and running on our YouTube page and on our homepage as a standalone program right around 5 o'clock. You can check it out there. Don't forget, we stream on our website 24/7. So if you don't have whatever, you want to watch our show when they're actually going on, just click on the live stream there. And if you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Kraken laid a big fat egg. Well, not literally. That would be rather painful. Hockey and sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Sports at 21 minutes after the hour. The Seattle Kraken, San Jose took care of it. They scored 3 quick goals in the first 4 minutes of the third period, and that was about it. They skated away with a pretty easy 6-1 victory over the Kraken last night at Climate Pledge Arena. Seattle's first home loss in regulation this season. It's also the most goals the Kraken have allowed in a game this season. Kraken back on the road Saturday afternoon. They'll be in St. Louis to take on the Blues. The puck will drop at 4 o'clock. Seahawks continue preparations for their clash with Arizona at Lumen Field on Sunday afternoon, and they're doing so with their brand new wide receiver, of course, Rashid Shaheed. He was acquired Tuesday from the Saints in exchange for a couple of draft picks. Coach Mike McDonald told the press it's not going to take him very long to figure out the offensive schemes.
Really excited. He was got in the building this morning, so we're off and running. Their offense is walking through right now. Obviously, has familiarity with Clinton and our system, so hopefully it's expedited getting up to speed. But enjoyed our conversations since the trade, and I know the guys were excited. It's a great opportunity to add to our team. Didn't feel like we were missing, something. It's not like we were trying to plug holes or anything like that. It was just an opportunity to get a great player and to augment what we were doing. So. That was it, but yeah, I'm excited about it and excited to see him out there.
And Rashid himself said he had mixed emotions when he heard on Tuesday morning that he was traded from the 1-8 Saints to the 6-2 Seahawks.
It was a bittersweet feeling. But a lot of excitement from my family, myself, of course. Just excited about the journey, excited to be here, excited to be a part of this organization, and so far it's been nothing but welcoming and. Just feeling good right now. Yeah, trying not to focus on the rumors. It was a lot of stuff circulating, but I'd had to stay focused on what, I had in front of me. But, now that it's here, I feel like I'm ready for it. And everything is going to be smooth, a smooth transition. Yeah, familiar with Clint. Super glad to be connected back with him. He's familiar with me. He knows my strengths, and I know what his mindset is going into games. And, it shouldn't be too hard to get acclimated with him. And just, find my role in the offense.
Arizona and Seattle at Seattle 105. Kickoff on the Columbia Broadcasting System. Wenatchee Wild are in the tail end of a 5-game homestand. Games Friday and Saturday. On Friday, they got Portland in town, and then the Prince George Cougars here in the big city on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Wild broadcaster Austin Drade told B that Wenatchee's coaching staff are still working on improving their play more than worrying about scouting their opponent.
Big focus for our coaches right now is continuing to make that progress in practice with our guys. We've got about 17, 18 guys who had not played in the Western Hockey League more than a few games at the start of the season. So we've got a lot of learning that these guys are doing. The progress has been great over the first 6 weeks of the season, but there's still a lot of learning to do on our side, and I think that's a major focus of the coaches right now. I think they're able to push up the scouting and the game planning a little bit on the other side, but there's still a lot of learning our group is doing, and they're going to get a lot of chances to do it here in November with 12 games in a month.
This is Military Appreciation Weekend. Both games, Friday and Saturday, they'll be wearing special jerseys that you can buy at an auction after Saturday night's game. So Austin says come out and support the military.
Yeah, so the big one for Friday night is going to be the special jerseys. We'll auction those off after the game on Saturday, but we always wear those for the full weekend. So kind of a black pattern with blue numbers, a little bit of maybe a digital camouflage look. I'm not going to give a whole lot away, but it's going to be a neat look. It's going to be a very distinct look this week, and Friday is going to be your first opportunity to see the guys out there before we start putting bids in to get those jerseys out the door on Saturday. We get close to, if not completely fill the building on Saturday night. Friday night's usually a fairly good crowd as well, but Saturday we're hoping to have the place packed again for not only the military appreciation jersey auction, but we'll also do the hat giveaway for the first 1,000 fans. CMI Orchards is taking care of our promotion that night, so we've got a lot of tickets out the door. A lot of them are going to veterans in the Wenatchee Valley that want to come out and see a game, maybe spend an evening out with their families. And yeah, kudos to David for getting 1,000 tickets sold. We were really close to getting them off the balcony after 3 days, but I know there are some folks that like to see them dangle just a little bit, and we got them off the balcony in 3.5. But a major thing that I want to mention, not only for the 1,000 tickets that he sold, but the tickets are still available. You can get them on the website under the tickets tab at WenatcheeWildHockey.com. So each of the Thomas A. Biddle Foundation and the Wenatchee Valley Veterans Hall got $2,000 from the tickets that David sold. We want to push that up even a little more and give them a little extra money. So if you buy the tickets online through that link, it's still active. That's where that extra money will go.
WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Get your tickets in advance. Save yourself a little time. High school sports, prep soccer. It's going to be a big night at the Apple Bowl tonight. The Wenatchee Panthers, champions of the Big Nine, will host on their rivals, the East Mile Wildcats, for the District 5 championship in the 4A division and a trip to state. Moses Lake will be in Eisenhower for a loser-out game. Same time, 6 o'clock. The loser of the East Wenatchee Championship game will face the winner of Moses Lake and Ike in a last chance to state. That'll be Saturday at 1 o'clock at wherever is the highest seed. Royal is the location for the last day of the District 5 1A tournament. Cascade takes on Riverside at 1 o'clock. The River advances to state, while Luke and Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls follow at 3. And then, yeah, it's a triple header. And then Cashmere will take on Natchez Valley at 5 o'clock for the District Championship. Both those teams, Natchez Valley and Cashmere, have already punched their ticket to state. Win or lose, they're going. And let's think about football. This is the end. This is it for a lot of the smaller schools that didn't make the playoffs. There's football tonight. There's your schedule. Orville's at Soap Lake. Bridgeport hosts Antioch. Waterville Mansfield will host Moses Lake Christian. And then Friday, tomorrow, Mansfield will play at 6 o'clock at home against Medical Lake. Orville and Moses Lake Christian have a playoff game at Lions Field in beautiful Moses Lake at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. There's one obscure holiday we're not going to do. It's National Men Make the Dinner Day today, but ordering pizza doesn't count, guys. So heads up on that. No, today we celebrate the birthday of Adolph Sax, who invented the saxophone. So it's National Saxophone Day today. Perhaps of all the instruments that one has to blow into, well, I don't think there's any question, it's the most versatile of all the instruments that one needs to use their lungs and lips to get the sound that you need, because it's in everywhere. I mean, it's in marching bands and concert bands and full-born symphony orchestras and rock and roll and country and rhythm and blues and jazz and more jazz and more jazz. The alto saxophone is the easiest to play, and that's why most people, when they begin to learn how to play the saxophone, they start out with the alto, and then they can go with the tenor saxophone or all kinds of different saxophones. An incredibly versatile instrument. And if you listen to a lot of early rock and roll tunes, they almost all have a saxophone wailing in there. Not that I listen to music much. Happy National Saxophone Day today. Today in history, it's presidential election week all week long, and Abe got the gig. On this date in 1860, Abraham Lincoln, former congressman of Illinois, you remember he didn't really have a job. Well, he got a job by winning the 1860 presidential election. The 1860 presidential election was the last of 5 consecutive presidential elections in which the incoming president was not a candidate. Can you imagine that? Nowadays, 5 consecutive elections ending with this one in which the incumbent president was not even on the ballot. Lincoln, by the way, got 180 electoral votes. He sailed to victory, and then we went to war. That was on this date in 1860. This is the 125th anniversary of the rematch of the 1896 presidential election. They liked it so much, they said, Bill, do it again. William McKinley defeats his Democratic challenger, William Jennings Bryan, to win re-election. Easy for him. McKinley, 292 electoral votes for William Jennings Bryan. He had 155. Locally, in the 1900 presidential election, William McKinley won Chelan County by 4 votes. 4 votes. is how much McKinley won Chelan County. William Jennings Bryan, the Democrat, won Douglas County by 99 votes back in 1900. The 1928 presidential election, 97 years ago today, Herbert Hoover. Hey, times are doing good. Why not? Let's keep the GOP in charge. Herbert Hoover won in a landslide over Al Smith. Didn't have much problems there. He would be the last Republican to win the presidential election until Eisenhower 5 elections later. Hoover just smoked Al Smith, and he easily won Chelan and Douglas counties. He got 77% of the vote in Chelan County, November 6th, 1928. The 1956 presidential election, the last time we had a rematch. It was Ike on one side and Adlai Stevenson on the other, and everybody decided we like Ike so much, we're going to give him 4 more years, and they did. Eisenhower wins re-election and wins it easily over Adlai Stevenson. This was the last election in which both candidates were born in the 19th century, and it was a rematch, which is the most recent rematch that we've had. Check this out. In Chelan County, Eisenhower easily won. He got 57% of the vote to win Chelan County. In Douglas County, the Democrat, the liberal, Adlai Stevenson beat Ike. He got 54% of the vote in Douglas County. That's how much things have changed. When was the last time the presidential candidate who was a Republican won Washington State? 1984. Ronald Reagan rolls to an easy re-election victory over the Democratic nominee Walter Mondale. It was a electoral vote landslide, 524 electoral votes, which is, by the way, the highest of all time, but not the highest percentage of all time. And again, Ronald Reagan, the last time this state voted for a Republican for a governor. He easily won Chelan and Douglas counties. And 13 years ago today, Barack Obama wins re-election over Mitt Romney, pretty easily, I might add. 332 electoral votes for Barack Obama. Mitt Romney had 206 electoral votes, although he did win Chelan and Douglas counties. Mitt Romney did rather easily. Mitt Romney was so confident he was going to win, he did not write a concession speech, but he had to deliver one. Heavenly birthdays. All 4 of our heavenly birthdays, I think, pretty much made it to the gates of St. Peter. The guy who invented basketball, James Naismith, born in the state in 1861 as the PE teacher at the local Y in Springfield, Massachusetts. He invented basketball in 1891, and the original handwritten 13 rules of basketball written by James Naismith on a piece of paper is the highest ever paid for a sports memorabilia piece of memorabilia. It sold for $4.5 million. The guy who invented basketball. Walter Johnson, the big train, the greatest right-handed pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball, all-time leader in shutouts with 110, second all-time in victory, and one of the inaugural members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. The big train, Walter Johnson, born in the state in 1887. Glenn Fry would have been 77 years old today. We lost him a number of years ago. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 1998. And Pat Tillman, born in the state in 1976. You all know what Pat did. He turned down a ginormous salary and joined the Army after September 11th. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Hi, Alpine Air. We love those guys. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. An opinion from my Mad Dog McNaughty, my conversation with Lisa Blair, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. They have a big weekend coming up. They'll tell you about that. But first things first, we're going to revisit gazpacho and chowder. It's Paws for Pets.
My name is Shay. I work at the Humane Society. I work here as Animal Care Associate. I particularly love working with the small critters. This is actually gazpacho, and the other guy for this week is going to be Chowder. He's a little more shy. He doesn't particularly, he likes being held, but it is a little more tricky to get him to let you. But gazpacho and Chowder were actually here brought in together. They are a bonded pair. Actually, they're kind of working on their bonding. They actually came here because the owner turned out to be allergic to animals, which is not exactly healthy for the owner. So they need a home where they can hopefully not cause an allergen. but they are very, very lovely starter pets for children. They do tend to explore with their teeth a little bit, so you got to be just a bit careful. Also with their nose, that's also kind of why they kind of like to be scratched right there. It's one of their favorite parts, as long as you're not getting too close to their mouth. He's a little bit tired at the moment. As you could see, usually he's a little more lively. He did get neutered, so that means that you could bring both of them home together, or you could separate them. That just means you would have to start the bonding process over. But since they are neutered, they could be with females, males. Bonding with males is a little more difficult. They are a little more dominant. They tend to get a little amped up, but that's normal as long as you're not hearing any like really bad weaking, any nibbles, then you might want to separate them just for an hour or two. Yeah, that's what we do with them, especially with how small the cage is right now. They do need a bigger spot. They eat the hay and the pellets. That helps also their teeth constantly grow. So a lot of wooden toys is very, very much needed. They are very, very sweet boys, and they're just looking for a final home. They don't necessarily use wheels, but if you want to build using soda boxes, if you want to use soda boxes because they're big enough, you can make tunnels. That's a good cost-effective way. I've done that a couple of times for my guinea pigs at home. It works pretty good. Don't be alarmed if they chew on it. It's normal. It's cardboard. And some enriching things too is you could stick some hay in toilet paper rolls. It's very enriching for them. It gives them a little bit of an activity. They also tend to kind of throw that around too. So it's kind of like a toy and an activity all in one. They can get pretty lonely unless you're there all the time. They can be very codependent. They love being social. So a lot of the time, as weird as this is going to say, the more the better. And even numbers is always best, so there's no bullying. If there is one female, two males, that's not the best. It can lead to problems, and we do not want that. Our hours are 12:30 to 6 if you want to come visit them. We're not open Wednesdays, but anytime Thursday through Tuesday, come on down between 12:30 and 6 and come see these little guys. They'd be very excited to see you.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Welcome to Bliss. Population U. This is the you that appreciates the warmth of a good coat and the fit of a purposeful boot. At Coastal, we want to be your partner in finding your bliss. We are hopeful and helpful because we're about this community. So when you're looking for a place called Bliss, trust Coastal, your country lifestyle superstore. Coastal, we're just what the country needs.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. And everybody is entitled to my opinion. Well, when I was with the Wenatchee Police, we had an ongoing phrase we used when somebody was a complainer. We called them a wimp, whiny, bubba baby. Yeah, I've had that term flung at me a few times. But this phrase has come to mind recently every time the supposed most powerful man in the world takes umbrage at having fun poked at him. Fun poked for legitimate reasons, I might add, by TV comedians to the point where he bullies those in power to silence them. Yep, a wimp, whiny bubba baby. He must have little hands. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I've heard that somewhere before. And this weekend and right through the holiday season, you can get into the Christmas spirit by visiting our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, soon to have a new name. Lisa is back. The last time you and I talked back in August, a very warm day, Lisa, by the way.
It was.
If I remember correctly. You were, the name change, the rebranding of this whole wonderful organization, you were in the process of doing that. That has now happened. You rolled it out couple of weeks ago. The Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center will be known in the near future as
Foothills Community Center.
Great idea. You had a lot of submissions too, probably more than you were expecting, right?
We had over 500 submissions. There were some duplicates, lots of variations on different names, but we had some really good ones. There were probably a dozen that we had to eliminate and work on what the best was, which ended up being Foothills.
Foothills, did you have a committee, a bunch of people who kind of know what they're talking about when it comes to how to rebrand an organization that everybody knows and respects, but you needed to rebrand anyway? How did that final decision of Foothills? Was it a board of directors? Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. We took the top names, compiled the reasoning behind why we chose those names, and then presented those to the board, and then the board narrowed it down from those. They had, in the end, I think they had 5 that they voted on, and the end vote, we actually had a different name. And then when we went to use that name, we discovered that it wasn't available through the state. So we went back to the drawing board, took the group of names that we already had, did another vote, and it was unanimous, Foothills Community Center.
So the Foothills Community Center is going to be the new name, but we're not there yet. You still have a few things you got to do, new logo, new signs, a few other things. So what's the timeline when the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center switches over to their new name, Foothills?
We have a hard date, January 1st. That's our goal. It kind of depends on the state, how fast they are with the approval of the name. Once that's done, we're already working on the logo. We're working on signs and different things like that. So once the state comes through and says, yes, we're ready to roll with it. So expect the first of the year.
Yeah, you can't rush through these things. And as you mentioned before, and it can be a little cost prohibitive, stationery, signs,
logos, name tags, everything. That's all got to be all brand new.
Yes, and getting the information out to all of our vendors. We have a list, and every day I think of more. So we need to get the information out to them as well. And we don't want anybody to be left in confusion. Now wait, what's Foothills? What happened to the senior center? Are you not the senior center? And we'll always be the senior center, but it will be now Foothills Community Center.
Does the fact that you're adjacent to Foothills Middle School play any role in that?
It played a role in the decision making. There was a little bit of hesitancy at first. There was some concern that people would be confused, and they would think if we had an event they were supposed to go to the Foothills Middle School or vice versa. And we talked it through and decided that it wasn't anything that was going to be a problem, and actually it might be to our benefit. So,
speaking of confusing people, this Saturday you can go to Foothills Middle School and participate in the 28th annual holiday gift fair. 28. So you've done 27 of these. You know what you're doing by now.
Oh, you would think.
I suppose this is big. This is a one-day, really big event. It's one of the biggest events, if not the single biggest event that you guys do every year. Talk about Saturday.
Well, Saturday actually started a month ago, and I should really say it started this summer. It's a lot of prep work. It's a lot of front work, especially with the vendors coming in. And we will actually sign people up on Saturday for next year. And we kick it off on Friday. We start setting up, we kick everybody out of the social hall. We start setting the social hall up with space for booths, and then the vendors start coming in. They're here into the early evening, then we kick them out, and then we are back at 6:30 in the morning getting ready for a second round. And by 9 o'clock, there are people standing at the doors waiting to get in. We open the doors and the party begins.
And that is the holiday gift fair. So these are individual craftsmen selling their individual wares, one-of-a-kind stuff you're not going to find essentially anywhere. And there's like 120 vendors. This event just keeps getting bigger.
It does.
You sometimes have a hard time wrapping your hand around it, making sure things don't get out of control.
Well, I passed that on to somebody new last year. We have a new program director, Lydia Agidius, and she has done a fabulous job. She is younger than some of us around here, and she comes with a new perspective. So she was able to do all of it online, online booths. You can register online, you can order your meal online. It took a lot out of our work, a lot out of our hands. So it's much easier to do. It's still a ton of work for us, but it's definitely worth it, and it is our biggest event.
It fills up this entire place, especially the main hall there just behind us. And then, of course, you take up the entire gymnasium and the entire commons of your next door neighbors, Foothills Middle School.
Yes.
That's a lot of real estate. And so maybe the most important thing that our viewers need to know is this isn't an in and out kind of thing on Saturday.
Oh, no.
If you want to walk by every booth, and you're going to want to walk by every booth, you want to commit a couple of hours, that kind of stuff, right?
I would commit a couple hours. Typically, it slows down a little bit in the mid-afternoon. Vendors are putting their things away at 3 o'clock, and it officially closes at 3. But last year, it wasn't like that. From the morning from the time we opened in that morning until we closed, it was a constant stream of people. So, if you think you're going to hit a certain time and get through it quickly, probably it won't happen. So commit a little time.
Again, it's here at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center and their next door neighbor, Foothills Middle School. Even though your guys are neighbors, there's still some pretty good distance between the two. It's about a city block between your parking lot and their parking lot. You've taken care of that, those people who don't much care for walking. Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge is in again this year. They're going to shuttle people. They donate a car to us. Every year they have done this. And so we go pick it up early Saturday morning, and we have a driver that just goes back and forth all day long. Calvary Chapel across the street. We also have parking there. They will let us use their space if we need to. And so they'll even make a stop over there a couple times throughout the day to pick people up. That eliminated my next question, which was parking, because you guys have a pretty sizable lot, as does Foothills, but we're talking that many people in a small period of time. Parking could be a little tight. It is tight, and when you add the vendors in that are here all day long, minimum of 120 vehicles out there, plus everybody coming in and out, it gets tight. You mentioned you'll be signing up vendors for next year during this year's event. A lot of these people come year after year after year, which is exactly what you want, because hey,
this is a great place for us to sell our wares.
Yeah, I would say there's a return rate of probably greater than 50%. Not everybody signs up the day of. They get a discount if they sign up the day of. But we still have a lot of people that they're exhausted after it's over and they think, I'm never doing this again. And then next year rolls around and guess what? They're signing up again. So.
And again, if you're a patron, you're gonna be dealing one-on-one with the vendors who are selling their goods at their individual tables at Foothills into here. So bring your debit card or credit card or cash or whatever, but they'll probably take all of those things, right? Everybody's swiping nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we even have some tablets that we can use for different things. We have to kind of feel it out and see how it works as far as registering for next year. It should be a piece of cake, but not everybody is technology savvy, and so we may have to work with some people, and we have tablets as well that we can help them with.
And also on Saturday, the grand reopening of the Christmas Cottage, when you turn this whole thing into a Christmas-themed extravaganza. Yes. And in fact, you're prepping right now as we speak. And that'll open all the way through the Christmas to come in and do that. And of course, the big thing here is you've got a lot of stuff.
We do.
A lot of stuff.
We have a semi-trailer sized storage container out back that is full with Christmas things. We take one of our suites and we empty that suite out from all of the stuff we use all year long, take as much as we can out of the container, bring it into that room. That's kind of like our staging room, and then this happens. And it continually recycles until just before Christmas when we do a half-off sale. But there's new stuff coming in every day.
Yeah, that's the key. Well, kind of like the holiday gift fair, in that if you want to come and do the Christmas Cottage, if you just come once and never come back again, you're missing out because you guys are constantly, because you got so much stuff, you're constantly restocking the shelves with different things.
Yes.
This must be a logistical nightmare. How many volunteers, how many people figure out these are the Santas and these are the Nutcrackers and these are the Santa outfits and these are the Christmas cookie plates, and how did you wrap your head around that?
I'm glad I don't have to do it. The thrift store manager, Shannon, is the one that takes care of all of that. And you can see behind us, there are already people working, and it goes on all day long. We have one night, sometimes it runs into 2 nights, where after the place shuts down, there's a team that comes in, and it's pretty much volunteers. There are a small handful of employees, but most of it's volunteers, and they come in and they price things, they set things up, they open boxes, they sort. They get pizza because of their hard work, but it's a big event. It happens one night and often goes into 2. So, and then continually, you can see with the people we have here now, they're in here all day long.
If it wasn't for volunteers, really, this place wouldn't exist. You have a staff. It's a very small staff, and you're not paying them a whole bunch of money. I think most of them would come in just because they like it so much. But no volunteers, this whole organization doesn't exist, much less these 2 events we talked about.
Absolutely correct. We would not be here without our volunteers, and we appreciate them so much. I can never say that enough, and every time I get a chance to talk about our volunteers, I want people to know how much we appreciate them and how valuable they are. So yes, they keep us going, they keep our doors open.
2 more quick items and we'll cut you loose. She's a busy woman and we're busy guys, quite frankly. When we talked back in August, you were doing the big ask, the fundraiser. When you come here, you'll know you've completely outgrown this space. You've outgrown this space 10 years ago, if not longer than that. Where are we with that in the goal to build the thrift shop as a standalone, to give you folks at the senior center more elbow room?
Well, we had an initial goal of $400,000, and we met that goal, and so now we're pushing that. We thought that would do what we needed to get grants from the state. Well, we're realizing that we probably need a little bit more than that, and so we've continued the push to grow that amount of money. But we're kind of stepping outside of our members and just our local demographic here. We're going into the communities, business owners, people that have donations that they would like to make and don't know we're here or don't know what we do. And so we're pushing some of those bigger ones. Once we get probably closer to $1 million, then we feel like we'll be ready to go with the state grants, and hopefully they can bring in the rest.
Quick little heads up, if you go to their website, they have kind of, in the thrift shop, they have deals all the time. They said this week is 50% off books, or this week is 50% off CDs, or half off this, half off that. Always check that. And you can also book your lunch reservation by going to your website, because this is a great place for lunch.
Oh,
it's a cheap place for lunch.
Yes, it's fantastic. It's a full meal. You get your proteins and your carbs and your vegetables and your fruit and dessert. So for $5, if you're a member. If you're not a member, it's $10, and you come here a couple times and you might as well have purchased your membership. So
all they need is a 24-hour notice to know you're coming, so they know how much food to make. Let's recap where we started. First of all, the 20th Annual Holiday Gift Fair, Saturday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Correct.
They won't throw you, if you're still making deals at 3:03, the cops aren't going to come and throw you out. And you don't have to be here at 9 o'clock to get the best deals, because these vendors are prepared for that.
They are.
And then also on Saturday, the grand opening of the holiday gift shop, and that goes through all the way through until close to Christmas, right?
Yes, and that's when the big deals start happening. Discounts, it's picked over by then, so I suggest you don't wait. Come early, but yes, about Christmas.
Thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate it. Always good to see you.
You too.
Oh, and next time you need help from us, I'm a phone call away.
I'm keeping that in mind.
Absolutely. I won't use Russ as my go-between anymore. So.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate you coming.
It's always good to see you. You watch Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.
And we are back here, a couple minutes to go on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. If you're just joining us, very strange weather over the last about 4 hours. I got up at 3 o'clock, clear skies, the moon was out there, it was beautiful, you could see the stars. Then the clouds and the fog came in. That's a live shot from our Hay Canyon camera looking out over Kashmir. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. It's kind of a Led Zeppelin joke, apparently a lame one at that. Good morning, Billy Goat. Hello, Pateros. Hello, Bridgeport. Nothing but sunshine up there. Omak, you're at the 43 degrees right now, even though we can't see you. So they didn't have nearly as much rain as we did here in the Wenatchee Valley. If you're just joining us, we had over half an inch of rain during the 24-hour period of yesterday. You factor in the rain that we had Tuesday night, we had almost an inch of rain in a very short period of time. Leavenworth still socked in with the clouds and the fog. It'll burn off a little bit. Everybody's going to see a little bit of sunshine until about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then, well, the last of these series of systems that have been visiting us since Sunday night will finally exit the area. Hello, Leavenworth, and back to the Wenatchee Valley. Isn't that cool? You can actually see the motion of the clouds as they begin to burn off over the Wenatchee Valley. But a pretty spectacular view here from our Wenatchee Heights camera. So yes, it's been a very wet week. Record rainfall yesterday, almost record rainfall on Tuesday. You combine Tuesday night's rainfall from 8:30 Tuesday night to the time the rain ended early yesterday afternoon, almost an inch of rain, and we're not done yet. Now we're under the influence of a very weak and very brief upper level ridge, which is why we are going to see some sunshine, but that's going to allow our temperatures to be not bad, 56, which is considerably warmer than normal. The trade-off is going to be once the rain tapers off, and here's your rain timeline, by the way. Rain basically 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this afternoon until about 10 o'clock tonight. So 2 or 3 roughly until roughly about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight is going to be our next dose of rain. We are going to get rain today. It's not going to be heavy rain, light rain, but persistent for the afternoon hours into the evening hours before it all peters out, and it'll be done by Friday morning. We are going to see some wind tonight and some wind on Friday, although that 54-degree high, wind or no wind, is going to be pretty nice, and it'll be nice to see the sunshine again. It's been a little while. Not a bad weekend. Saturday, partly sunny, just around 51, 52, nothing to complain about there. Sunday, sunshine mixed with clouds and a high of 52. Jumping ahead to Veterans Day, looking pretty good there too. That's it for us. Have a great Thursday. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.